Hello and welcome to the Rhythm Changes podcast. I'm your host, Chris Fraser. Thank you for joining me. Today's conversation is with my first guitar teacher ever, Ron Samworth. I don't think he realized that because it seems like I informed him during the episode that he was my first guitar teacher. We kind of go all over the place here. You know, we talk about guitar and our favorite guitarists, of course. Ron talks about meeting his heroes and how that changed his artistic outlook for the better. He talks about playing the guitar not like a guitar. We get into a little bit of his poetry that he shares on his Facebook feed, and we do talk about death and more particularly the etiquette of dying, which is Ron's latest audiovisual project. He gets into that in depth during the episode, so please enjoy. So yeah, tell me about teaching during COVID. That was the last couple of years of your tenure.
Well, I retired from Cap at the end of 2024.
Right, yeah.
After 28 years.
Yeah, long time.
And I'm very grateful, man, I was grateful for that job because I was just reflecting on this the other day, talking to cats about how the scene has changed and how it hasn't changed. When I started
if there's anyone who knows that, it's you.
Well,
man.
I've been around for a long time at this point, and I've been working since 1979.
79?
As a musician, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 64 now. So I started when I was 17, just out of high school.
Okay, yeah.
And I was mostly a rock player who was leaning towards jazz at that point.
Right.
And a lot of jazz fusion.
It's about the right time, yeah?
Yeah, it was right in the thick of...
That's the zeitgeist around
the late
that time.
70s, yeah. We were all tripping on Mahavishnu Orchestra, and the Electric Miles stuff was very formative for me.
Yeah.
And having come out of rock, and then, Zeppelin,
you have
prog
Zeppelin
rock.
around.
I loved Zeppelin, yeah. And Stone. I mean, I was very eclectic. My mom... turned me on to tons of music. She always had music playing in the house. She was a massive jazz fan. So even before I played jazz, I knew what that music sounded like, and I knew a lot of the tunes in my ear and was able to pick them out.
And did she collect records?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She had tons of records.
Yeah.
I mean, she had Blakey, Miles, lots of singers.
Did you grow up in Vancouver?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Born in Richmond and raised in Richmond, and then I moved into Vancouver.
Great.
When I was about, I guess, 19, and then I've lived in Vancouver ever since.
Wow.
Yeah, with a couple of brief hiatuses where I lived in Amsterdam for short periods, for a couple months at a time, over maybe 2 or 3 different stays there.
Okay, yeah.
But by and large, just Vancouver.
You're a Vancouver boy.
Born and bred, baby.
That's great, yeah. Like, you don't, it's funny how rare that actually is.
Yeah. Are you from here, or where were you born?
Yeah. I grew up in Surrey.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I consider Richmond part of Greater Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll call it.
No,
yeah.
I'm that definitely falls within what I would say.
In the purview, yeah. It's
it's a borough.
It's a borough. We're suburban boys. What can we say? Suburban white boys.
Totally, yeah.
So sue me.
Yeah, just listen to jazz.
Yep. Just reflecting about the early 80s when I started. Back then, a good gig wage was $100 a night.
That's a good gig wage today.
I know. That's what was freaking me out. It's like, holy shit! Like, it hasn't changed in 40 years.
Yeah, but what do you do with $100 in 1981?
Yeah, you pay half your rent.
Yeah.
And you only needed a handful of $100 gigs.
That is quite literally 5% of my rent.
I know, dude. It's nuts. And just to bring it full circle, the one thing that saved my life was teaching.
Sure, yeah.
Especially as the rate of inflation and costs go up.
Yeah.
Especially to land that Cap teaching gig in the late 90s was really good. It was an anchor for my income and that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it freed me up to do a lot of creative projects. I over those few decades, I was able to kind of wean myself off of just jobbing gigs and concentrate more on
creative stuff.
Yeah, original projects and recording. And we used to do pretty regular touring, which I also feel sorry for you young guys now, because were you in my shoes back in those days, you'd be touring across the country 2 or 3 times a year, which we used to do with regularity. which broadens your whole sense of community, to a nationwide thing rather than just a local thing. Yeah. And I really kind of lament those days a little bit. But there's a lot of good things going on now. However, COVID.
Right.
That was the one that stopped us dead in our tracks.
Totally, yeah.
I mean, that ground everything to a halt.
Yeah.
And
there was a lot of different effects, I feel like, that it like sort of unexpected effects that ended up having on the scene, I feel like. One was a good number of people who had left Vancouver ended up coming back during COVID.
Right.
To like live with their family.
Yeah,
like,
just to hunker down.
Yeah. And so it ended up kind of like consolidating the scene a little bit more.
That's interesting.
Which you wouldn't necessarily you can't predict these things.
Yeah.
Maybe in my generation.
In your generation of people,
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, what are you gonna? No one could work.
It was wacky, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was trying to teach on Zoom. That was our thing. We kept teaching at the university, and it was really a strain. I mean, I feel like the students got ripped off. We were doing our best, but it's so hard to.
It's not the same.
Well, no. And what we do, if you're talking about jazz and improvisation, it requires an immediacy.
Absolutely.
And an interaction. If we were having this conversation on Zoom, we'd have these stupid little lags, and then it might cut out.
It'll cut out. Or like, hold on. We're more susceptible to distractions too because we're in our own space. Like it's.
I know.
Yeah.
The only good thing is you didn't have to wear pants. And I should mention to the listening public, we are wearing pants.
Yeah, we are wearing pants. Ron is wearing some Adidas track pants.
Yes, it's what my wife calls the Tony Sopranos.
They are, yeah. You don't have the top though.
No,
you don't have the mock neck on top.
No,
or the gold chain.
I need that. I'm working on it. Chris. I'm working on it.
Yeah. They're expensive. Those sets are expensive. You got to build them up over years.
I'll tell you. Well, I know a few people. You know what I'm saying? I'll.
A guy who knows a guy.
Exactly. We'll make a deal in the parking lot, Well,
you're a tall guy, too. You got to get special sizes, probably. You got to get an extra long.
I do.
It's fitted like a suit, right? Like, you wear like a 40 long in the Adidas tracksuit.
Yeah, I'm one. I think I'm just, I'm 6'4", so I'm one.
Yeah.
One size level below having to go to Mr. Big and Tall.
Right, yeah.
But I'm not.
Yeah, you're Mr. Tall, right?
I'm just the tallest of the normal guys. So I am normal.
Yeah,
really, believe me.
Yeah, I also I was teaching a bit on Zoom, but the funny thing that happened for me was that I actually lost my teaching job a week before COVID happened.
Great timing,
like almost unrelated to it.
Where were you teaching?
I was teaching at Rufus Guitar Shop.
Oh, Rufus. Okay,
yeah,
that was a great operation.
Yeah. So I just happened to lose my job there, and then COVID happened. But I feel like you can. The one thing about teaching online I found was, you could, I guess, like look up and listen to stuff together a bit more easily.
That's true.
I integrated my iPad and like sharing my screen on my iPad.
Oh, that's cool. So you could do like YouTube feeds and stuff.
Yeah,
like that,
or just like writing down like music stuff and like I'm seeing it kind of like a whiteboard, like a live whiteboard type thing. But obviously teaching in person is just so much more effective.
Yeah, that whiteboard thing would have taken me 3 months to figure out.
Right, yeah.
So technologically challenged. As I am.
You did end up getting back. So if you finished in 2024, you were back to teaching.
Yeah, I was back for a good few years. Yeah. I intended to go a bit longer, but at least till I was 65. But my health kind of precluded that. That's been a big issue over the last 10 years.
Just like making it out to North Van on a regular basis, kind of thing.
Well, no, I have for the listeners that don't know, I've been dealing with stage 4 cancer for 10 years now.
Yeah, a long time.
And I had a recurrence a couple of years ago, so I'm back in treatment, and I was just uncertain about being able to maintain a regular schedule. I didn't want to kind of leave my students in the lurch or anything.
I suppose, I guess you're concerned about having to drop out in the middle of the year or something like that.
Well, I'm concerned about croaking, to be honest.
Well, I know that's something you think about.
That's
a lot.
still on the table. Yeah. Well, check out my project, Etiquette of Dying.
Etiquette of Dying. Yeah, I kind of want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I saw one. I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also write the text?
I did. Indeed. Yeah. There's some excerpts from the what do you call it? The hospice handbook. That's what kind of inspired the project. It wasn't so much my own illness; it was my sister's death at 52 of esophageal cancer, and she had a pretty rough ride. And I spent the last 2 full days with her. Kind of did the whole bedside vigil and that.
Okay.
And when she was in the hospice, they give you this little guide that explains, the various stages of a natural death.
Right.
And what to expect and what the person goes through. And a lot of it was a real revelation to me, things that I hadn't thought about or experienced, because it was the first time I'd been with someone during a full dying process there. And it was very affecting, I mean, I brought some of my own experiences to the fore. In the text, I wrote them mostly in first person.
Yeah.
And then sort of the reflections I've had on my own illness. But really, it was the motivator, the inspiration was my sister's experience. Right. And for those who don't know, this Etiquette of Dying project it's a 51-minute musical suite that I wrote, which is probably the anchor of it is about 6 composed pieces interspersed with improvisations, and then there's text from the extracted from the hospice handbook. And then there's about 6 or 8 of my original texts.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing kind of goes chronologically from a person realizing that they're terminally ill to their death, and it's it's somewhat poeticized, but it's also pretty straightforward. So we've kind of struck a balance between factual things, but also just my own sort of poeticizations about it. But the one thing I wanted to avoid was not going into these soppy kind of metaphors about death and dying.
Right.
You're going to kick cancer's ass. It's like,
I
don't need to kick cancer's ass. It's in my body. It's part of me.
Right.
It's just my own cells mutating. It's nothing to freak out about.
Yeah.
I don't have Satan inside of me trying to kill me. And I think it's way healthier to just view, that kind of stuff as it's a more holistic and natural thing.
Yeah. I feel like this is something I've thought about a lot. Humans have a tendency to personify things very easily, like
big time.
We're so willing to lend things that are decidedly not human.
Yeah,
humanity.
They call that anthropomorphizing.
Totally. Yeah.
And
so even something like cancer,
right?
It's just like, oh, that's a bad guy, right?
Exactly.
Like I've decided that this is an evil villain. When in reality, it's just a natural, unfortunate, but like natural,
a natural process. In the body. Yeah, and a huge percentage of people go that way. People think of jazz that way. It's an evil monster, something to fear. Don't fear jazz.
Yeah. The fear you have for jazz is fear you have for a part of yourself. I feel.
Well, as a player, yes.
Yeah.
We're always trying to, jazz music is one of those things that can make you so neurotic.
Yeah.
And it's such a process. It's such a process to kind of let go of.
Yeah.
I mean, making music and improvised music has taught me a lot about not getting too hung up on the outcomes and not going down that rabbit hole where you just sort of telescope into 100%. The fingerboard or the process, you're in your own head.
Yeah.
The better I play is when I'm really open and relaxed and listening to people around me.
Yeah.
Trusting my instincts, trusting that I'm going to make good choices, or if I make bad choices, I'll be able to, adjust. Rather than going into the, most of us when we're young guys, we go and pretty quickly we get triggered into the, oh, fuck, that really sucked.
Yeah.
Ergo, I suck.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's a tough process, you know, especially when you don't have confidence, you know, you don't have a ton of experience when you're young, and you know, a bad gig can put you on a bummer for weeks, right?
Oh yeah.
And
it's and you know that it's not helpful, and you know that you're probably overreacting.
Yeah.
But it's just purely emotional. Like you just assign so much stake to your, I guess, like level of performance, like whatever that even means.
Yeah, and you know as well as anybody that to play well, you have to put a lot of time and energy, and there's some sacrifice. You know, I didn't have much of a social life when I was a young guy. I was practicing all day.
Yeah,
that's all I did, and I'd go and get stoned at night and play. You know, either in the early days, it wasn't so much gigs, but I'd go into a rehearsal or a session, and you know, and I was teaching in the afternoons, and I mean, it was just music all the time.
Yeah,
and when you're that focused on it, any kind of setback is like your whole world, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now I don't give a shit.
Well, of course, yeah.
I kind of enjoy sucking sometimes, and I mean this. I mean this in a sardonic way.
Okay,
but what's interesting to me is to realize when, you know, things are getting a little wobbly.
Yeah,
it's like, wow, there's an opportunity here to actually shift the music a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
Well, that's certainly true in improvised music where you're not following a structure, but even in structured music, you know, it took me a long time to realize some of those things that Miles said about, you know, just letting it happen. I pay you to practice on stage, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, you know, it's like that openness and that willingness to try something and not feel like you have to play something that you've already codified.
Yeah.
It's kind of groovy when that happens. And my, I guess the way I've shifted my perspective over the years is that I just kind of try to just breathe and correct, you know, especially when you're playing lines and trying to execute, you know, negotiate through chord changes and stuff, rhythmic structures. My best playing is when I just kind of tune myself into my breath and my natural phrasing instincts.
Right.
I think when I was younger, I would spend a lot of time emulating my heroes.
Of course, yeah.
For a while, I was kind of like a bargain basement John Scofield. You know,
Yeah.
I could do that thing.
Yeah.
And then it became Bill Frisell, and you know, at other times it was other guys I was copying. But that's, you know, they've got their own nervous system, their own way of perceiving the music, their own brains, their own physicalities.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you're not actually going to become John Scofield as much as you want to. Yeah,
cloning was still a few years away, and and what would you have achieved? You know, you basically achieve, you know, a replication of your favorite guitar player, but. You know, and that's the trap that a lot of saxophonists got into with both Bird and Train.
Yeah.
Where, you know, you hear these super accomplished players, but it's like, so where are you in this, you know?
Yeah.
Where's your voice? I'd rather hear you crap out a little bit in an attempt to find your voice.
Yeah, and those are also the best moments of Bird and Train's recordings.
Yeah, where you feel like they're right on the edge and they're discovering it themselves. Yeah, that's so true, because there is a razor's edge. Yeah, the stuff that we think is like Mount Rushmore carved in stone. Yeah, you know, those guys were making it up in the moment. That's a first take. You know. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so and I feel like that's not even something that they are necessarily considering. The idea of like being so outcome focused. Right, and it's something when you're young, it's like being very outcome focused.
Coltrane was all about process, you know. Yeah. And the chances he took, I mean, to go from being, you know, Mr. Countdown Giant Steps to, if you listen to the Interstellar Space and Ascension, that stuff is so far out. Yeah. And it's so different from what he was doing just a few years earlier. Yeah. I mean... like it or not, you've got to respect the fact that this guy was fearless.
Yeah.
You know, and Miles did the same. He alienated audiences that just wanted him to do one thing. And even my own mom says to me, Ron, I just love it when you play like Wes or Joe Pass. Why don't you do that more often? It's like, well, Mom, I did it for a lot of years, you know, but I know you can do it.
Knowing her
too,
music taste, that makes sense. Yeah,
and I just go, she go, you know, and I'm like, well, you know, it's just kind of been my thing as a player to try new stuff. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's okay, you know, I've done all right.
Yeah, I mean, I find like being able to play, like playing in that style also requires like the correct setting. Like
context.
Yeah, because like it's easy enough to say like, oh, why don't you just play like Wes? It's like, well, I need to be
in that context and that headspace too. I mean,
I need a band that plays like the Wynton Kelly Trio.
Yeah, right? And I mean, like, and who can play like Wes anyway? He would be another guy that I would put in the bird train. Like,
of course,
I mean, that flow of ideas and lines, that just naturalness that Wes has in the feel. It's like, I've never heard another guitar player. George Benson can't do it.
Yeah,
he's not as laid back as Wes is.
Yeah, he gets too excited.
Yeah, he gets he plays a lot of notes and he does stuff, makes choices that Wes would never have made. You know, not to take away from George Benson, but you know, other guys. I mean, Russell Malone, I guess, had a kind of a Wes-ish orientation. Yeah. But I don't know. There's only one guy. He just put it all together, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the closer you get to trying to be like something like that, the more you realize how far away you are. You know, like you would, if you spend an entire year like just studying Wes or Train or Bird or something.
Well, I did that with
Schofield. I mean, yeah, like we did that.
I did that with Schofield, and I realized I was saying, I'd be critiquing my own playing by saying, "Oh, Sco wouldn't have done that."
Right.
And it's like, wait a minute, I'm really getting twisted here. You know, over identification or what?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I mean, I listen to a lot of Sco too, and like he's a surprising player. Like basically every recording, there's something really interesting, because he's just the kind of guy. You know, he played with Miles.
He did.
He was sort of like, I
have a bootleg downstairs of him with Miles at the Queen Elizabeth Theater.
Oh,
that
wow.
is unbelievable.
Whoa.
What year? It's on cassette, 83.
Oh, wow.
So it was Bob Berg was in the band.
Yeah.
Daryl Jones and Al Foster.
Whoa.
It's really good.
Holy
I'll get it digitized and we'll share it with you guys out there.
Man.
In Jazzland.
Yeah.
It's on cassette, so I'm a little worried it might be deteriorated, but I'll find someone good to digitize it for me.
Yeah, I think.
But you know, I mean, a lot of it is. Again, Schofield just has that feel. It's like he can burn, but he's still kind of laying a little bit back on the beat, you know, and just the harmonic sophistication of what I would call the post Coltrane vocabulary. A lot of guitar players didn't pick up on that. And
but at the same time, like he like digs in and has like almost the same blues sensibility as someone like Albert King.
Totally.
Where like it sings.
Yep.
You know.
No, he's I think these blues to the bone, really.
Yeah.
But then you put that jazz vocabulary on top of that he developed. You know, it's a pretty potent mix. Pretty great. Pretty seductive.
Yeah. I remember David Blake sending me a video of John Schofield playing. He's just playing My Ideal on a steel string acoustic guitar.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, how does he do that? How does it sound distorted?
I know. Well, he gets a lot of meat on the string
from his fingers. Yeah.
And he I don't know. It's like Monk can be playing the most in-tune piano,
Yeah.
perfect Steinway, and it's got that monkish kind of like
Yeah.
a barrel. Is that
Yeah.
piano in tune? Yeah, it is. But
Yeah, but he plays a voicing with a major 7 on a dominant.
yeah, exactly.
And
Boing, the crunches and those real dissonances, minor 9 intervals,
totally, yeah.
and just lets them hang there. A lot of those great players, like Bill Frisell, sounds like Bill Frisell, even with strip it all away onto an acoustic guitar. There's a touch thing and
I feel like a lot of your stuff is like very Bill influenced.
Well, Bill would have been my last real great sort of I want to play like this guy sort of phase.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Chris, I was doing a gig about would have been mid-90s now.
Yeah.
And I got hired to play the premiere of the Gary Larson Halloween special that Frisell did the score for.
Oh, cool.
It's in the mid-90s, I think. And I was on a gig, and the animator who did it was Rocket Ship Animation, Marv Newland, Vancouver-based, and a real jazz fan. So he hired me and Paul Plymley, the late, great Paul Plymley, to play this gig. And it was a big reception at the Pan Pacific. It was kind of a gala event. They had a giant screen and, booze and lots of, show folk there.
Yep.
And so we start playing. Next thing I know, Marv walks up with Frisell and his band. And I just about crapped my pants because I was in the major throes of my Bill Frisell addiction.
You're right. Yeah.
So you talk about being self-conscious in front of a guy.
Oh, man.
So I was like, oh man, I got to find my own thing here. It almost was like in the space of 2 hours having to deconstruct my Bill Frisell fetish, right?
Yeah.
I was just, totally heavy on the volume pedal and, many of his phraseologies and things. But I think that was my first step into trying to I got to stop trying to play like these guys.
You just because he became real all of a sudden?
Well, yeah, it wasn't just as, my bedroom fantasy, right? It's like, shit, this is a real guy and I'm standing right in front of him.
That I'm liable to meet.
I feel like I owe it to myself and the world to find my own voice if I can. So
I guess that's it. Yeah, that's, as good a sign as any, right?
Hell yes.
He shows
I
up
was
at your
so
gig.
shy about talking to him. I didn't talk to him till the gig was over, and we were loading out, and Bill and his wife were just leaving the room. They were just at the elevator, and I went up and said, hey, Bill, thanks. Nice to meet you, and thanks for the music and all that stuff. And he went, you guys were amazing. He said, I kept trying to have conversations and I kept getting distracted listening to you guys.
Come on.
And I just felt so good,
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't quit there and then.
Probably
just like
probably should have.
Yeah, I'm done. It's great.
I peaked in the 90s, man. What can I say? It's probably not too far from the truth. But it was funny, and I took that away, and I was so proud.
Wow, and that's amazing, man.
Well, it was really
how
positive.
validating.
And he's a hell of a nice guy. He's very generous.
Yeah,
and I've met him a few other occasions. That I was in New York about 6 months later, and I was taking some lessons with John Abercrombie, who I knew from Banff.
Yeah,
and Bill was playing at the Knitting Factory, and I went down in the afternoon to get tickets. And I guess he was just showing up for a sound check and setup. And I saw him. I was like, "Oh, hi, Bill. It's Ron Samworth. I'm the guitar player from Vancouver. I met you at the Marv Newland thing." And he went, "Yeah, man, you were amazing."
Exactly.
He said the exact same thing. And
that's
it was just
so good.
Well, thanks, man.
That's awesome.
I think in part it was because me and Paul, we damned the torpedoes. We were playing standards, and then we'd warp into free associations.
Right.
At one point, we were playing like an Elvis riff,
Whoa,
like "Don't
cool.
Be Cruel." And
Oh, wow.
But Will Plumley was a zany man. He would go
yeah.
anywhere. Like he was so.
That's
open.
cool. I like trying to like dig into those like old country and folk hit stuff too.
Yeah,
like,
and we weren't calling those tunes. It would just evolve.
Wow.
Like his riff. We would
that's awesome.
we would just go on, and it was really fun. And yeah, it was just one of those watershed moments where. But after that, I really started to try to wean myself off of those stylistic things. I mean, they come back into my playing all the time. I
Sure,
mean,
but
it's impossible for us to.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be part of it, but it's
course.
just like you just like stop like singularly focusing on it, right? And you just kind of like develop a more like healthy appreciation, but like you try to move into what interests you. So like what is like something that you like? Because it's the story that I heard about Bill in the 90s is that he felt like he was becoming a cliche of himself.
I can see that.
And because everybody in New York was trying to be Bill Frisell.
Exactly.
Everyone was using...
It was so influential, though. I got to tell you,
pedal.
Chris, I started listening to him in the 80s.
Right. Probably like Rambler
just when he
out.
was coming, when he hit the scene.
Yeah.
Even before Paul Motion Trio. And,
oh, sure, yeah.
I mean, he was the big news, And the thing about Frisell for me is that so many of those influences that he brought to the fore were things that you felt, especially at that time in the 80s, there was a real kind of neoclassicism in jazz. You had Wynton Marsalis going, Miles is bullshit.
Yeah.
After 1969, Miles was bullshit. Right.
Yeah.
And it was like, how dare you? You're a fucking trumpet player. This guy changed the music, 3 or 4 times. And you're playing, Louis Armstrong solos note for note.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on. Don't get me wrong. I think Wynton's brilliant.
Yeah, it is one of those weird
but he
dichotomies.
was mouthing off so much in the 80s. You could just it was kind of like you're either for him or against him. And I just thought, oh, this guy's just a, he's reactionary. This is bullshit. The music's got to move. It's got to change for better or for worse.
Totally,
right?
yeah.
Anyway, when Frisell hit the scene, the freeing effect that had, where you could play like Hendrix.
Yeah.
You could use foot pedals.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing that. Like it's very different than the fusion that was around in the 70s, because that was more like guys shredding. I mean, what Frisell was doing was more of a postmodern take.
Right.
He would, it was celebrating country music. It was celebrating Monk, Hendrix, and he mixed it all up in one gumbo, and it wasn't just like John McLaughlin shredding or Holdsworth or God help us, Al Di Meola. There was some pretty tasteless guitar playing going on.
Yeah, I think. Well, I suppose. I guess if Frisell was coming into the 80s as a young man, like he, I suppose, was a little bit more disconnected from like that source, right? Like,
well, no, he said he tried to play like John McLaughlin when he was a young man. Everybody was hung up on John McLaughlin.
Yeah. No, I mean those earlier sources.
Oh, when
like,
he came in. Oh, yes.
Right? Like he's sort of paying tribute to it from kind of like an outsider's perspective.
Sure.
Where maybe someone like even like Schofield is like a little bit more.
He's a bebopper.
Yeah, like he's a little bit more in there.
Yeah.
Or even Pat, like
sure,
is a little bit more kind of like connected to that world. I feel like Frisell kind of comes on the scene as like a guy who is the new generation. Like I feel like he sort of like signified someone who is like paying tribute to it as
I totally agree with you. It was a demarcation point. And he's the same age as those other guys. They're all in their mid-70s now, which is unfathomable.
But maybe it's because he's from the West Coast. He's from Seattle, and
so he grew up in Colorado.
Okay,
yeah. But and I remember reading somewhere where he said that the volume pedal and the heavy compression was him trying to emulate a pedal steel guitar player. He heard so much pedal steel. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But then you add Monk into that, and then Hendrix and Cream, and you just get a weird fusion of a true fusion, not just shredding over 9/8 ostinatos, kind of thing. 11/8, so 9/8 it would be too straightforward.
11/8. That's real hip. Yeah,
that's total 70s. Yeah, he was a landmark player for me.
Yeah,
really
But
important.
I want to follow this thread though.
Sure.
So him, you meeting him and him validating you.
Yeah.
And you realizing like, okay, he's not the whole world, right? Like, he's his guy, I'm my guy, and now what do you do? Maybe is it like was it a concrete decision? You're like, okay, I need to start doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And if so, like what did that entail? Like, what did you?
Well,
was it subtractive?
It was a long. Oh, that's a great question. It was probably just some basic things like, lay off the compression and the volume pedal so much. It also, I'll be honest with you, it meant not listening to those guys so much.
Okay, yeah.
So that they weren't inside my head.
Yeah, totally.
And that goes for Schofield. I just kind of kept an arm's length. Started listening to, I've always listened to tons of different kinds of music. If you look at the pile of records here in my living room, we got everything from Joan Tolliver, folk, Wes Montgomery, Foghat. Check it out, man. Alban Berg.
Yeah.
And this is just...
Got this Telfaro record.
Yeah, the Joan Tolliver one has Sam Brown on it. The great, tragically died young guitar player. He played with Keith Jarrett and stuff. He was a sort of a hero around the Boston area. And he played on the Paul Motion record too, and then he died really young of a heroin overdose. Man. But that's just a straight ahead folk record. He doesn't even solo. He just plays acoustic guitar. Cool. But I saw his name on it and I thought, man, that shit, I'll drop $1 on that.
Yeah.
So this has been my lifelong addiction is
Where'd you get this latest
record
call?
Collecting. Over on the island, Victoria.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we're just trolling around thrift stores. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's always been a thing. And I guess I've always collected, not only records, but antiques and objects. And now my wife do it as a sideline. We have a business called Terminal City Vintage.
That's awesome.
And but maybe my musical approach is the same way. I collect things, interesting objects, things that appeal to my aesthetic. I don't worry too much about how they fit together. I just trust that, you can mix and match different eras and different styles.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the answer to how I dealt with trying to wean myself off of any one particular stylist, is to just kind of let it all wash over and see what sticks and what comes out. And, hopefully there'll be a little bit of me in there,
Yeah, I guess that's what you do, right? You collect and you restore and then you let it go. Yes, ideally. Yeah. Yeah. Ideally. I mean, I don't think you ever get over it, I mean, you hear stories of Wes hating he never couldn't listen to anything he'd recorded. Right, yeah.
He was critical of everything he ever did and what we consider perfection. Same with, Coltrane, I think, was really fussy and critical.
Yeah, it's funny, like whenever you listen to Coltrane and then you realize that the solo that he takes is just like what he allowed everyone to hear, because like he's playing before and after he's on mic. Like he, like he just
he was compulsive.
He just walks up while he's playing,
and
then he finishes and he just keeps playing off mic.
Yeah.
So like that's just like a bit of what you're only getting like a small slice of like his stream of consciousness, right?
That's a great Observation, yes, and that reminds me of something that I worked with Butch Morris back in the was it the later 90s? Well, first time it was in the late 80s. I did a residency with Wayne Horowitz, Butch Morris, Bobby Previtt, and then a small circle of Vancouver players.
Okay, yeah.
We worked on their music and performed it in a kind of a residency workshop, and then they did a concert, the trio. But Butch, great cornetist and the guy who invented the conduction techniques.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That he said to me and said to us, the ensemble.
Or not conducting?
It's called conduction.
Okay.
It's one of his systems, which is a series of hand gestures and strategies for group playing. That's improvised.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lisa Miller is doing workshops in that tradition at 80 through now. Anyway, when Butch was directing the ensemble, he would say, just because you're not playing doesn't mean you should just shut everything off. And it's the same thing you're saying about Coltrane is he said, you got to be playing in your head. So when I gesture to you, you got to, you're already in.
Right. It's like you're turning on a
you're
tap.
You're never out. You're never out. You're always, something's going on.
Yeah.
So even your silence is, it's like a tap. Exactly. The water's there. It's flowing already.
Yeah. There's a pressure buildup, and like all you have to do is just open the tap.
Sure.
That's
kind of like my digestive system.
Hey,
I'll tell you, folks, I'll be here all week.
Where's my stinger button?
Exactly.
Toilet flush sound effect. Yeah. So it was more about input for you then, like as far as like your you decide to somewhat cut off those influences and start listening to other things. And so naturally it probably gets more eclectic. You start reaching out to different directions, or
well, one of the things I do as an improviser now, I mean, there's always been this dichotomy for me, and it's been a lifelong work to try and integrate playing on forms. I mean, I love the blues too. I grew up playing classic rock and blues, and in my later teens studied classical guitar, really got my reading chops together at a super young age.
That's
which
handy.
has served me really well through my professional career, because I've worked with the VSO a bunch of times and Standing Wave. A lot of the new music ensembles, I would be the top call guy.
Totally. You played Veggie, you played
Hard Rubber for 30 plus years. Yeah. So there's a lot of benefits to having that.
And I've read John's music before. It's not easy.
No, it's difficult. Although the hardest music I ever had to play composed was Frank Zappa's Yellow Shark with Turning Point.
Oh, wow.
It was ridiculous, Chris. It took me months of woodshedding to get that together. And even then it was a wing and a prayer, you know. Yeah. I mean, he wrote shit that nobody could play. I mean, I remember one grouping was, it would have been was it a 16th or 32nd grouping, but it was 17 in the time of 23. Right? So you tell me how you play that.
Is that like, is it a tuplet that has like a 17?
Yes.
17:23?
Yes, 17:23.
Oh,
so,
my gosh.
I mean, the best I could figure it out was it was a rushed quintuplet. In whatever the pulse was, and then just speed up or slow down when you see the conductor coming to the next downbeat.
Yep.
That is the best I could do. There's no fucking way you can program that on, or you could probably program it into a computer.
Yeah.
But to interpret something like that is just
but even when you do it, like how does it sound?
Plus, it's a bloody fucking atonal line that you're.
Oh, this isn't just like a trill.
No, man, this would be like a, right? And it's like, oh, shit.
Why would I have assumed? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Why did I take this gig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're the guy who could probably read it, I guess, on the guitar. Like,
so one of my great disappointments, I'll have to tell you this as an aside, was I had to turn down the West Side Story performance that the VSO did with the film. Basically, they took the audio track out, the music track out, and played it to click.
Whoa!
But the film, the rest of it was in, so it was live music with the film. And I really wanted to do it, but I had just gotten sick again and had to was going into radiation treatments. I didn't know how I would be faring. But that was one of my earliest musical memories. My mom had that record.
What's that story?
I loved it.
Oh, wow.
I used to beg her to play it. Mommy, play cool, play cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She said I was just obsessed with it. And my mom, in fact, went to that performance. She said, I got tickets to it. And I said, I got the call to do it. And I had to bail because for health reasons. So that's life, Chris. You know, I mean, I think as players and artists and humans, we just, we just keep going. You keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
And, at some point it's going to stop. For whatever reasons, you either choose or something else makes the choice for you, right? And, it's just like you were saying. It's like that faucet you turn on and turn off.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
I think if you want to put it into a life, your whole life is like a big musical stream, right? I mean, or your creativity, your flow of self-expression. Yeah. And someday that's just going to turn off, but you can turn it on. So if you're open-minded, open to change, open to, letting it go where it goes, then, we're all going to be okay.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's?
Do
you think there's something that? I feel like you've been able to maintain a creative output, kind of despite the grimmest
during
of
my
situations.
Illness. Oh yeah. I made multiple recordings of my own and also with other people. I was in remission for about 7 years, so I didn't have any problems. But even when I first had a major surgery and chemo, I kept working. I was only sidelined for about 3 or 4 weeks. Then I went right back into a theater project with Peggy, live musicians. Yeah. And I was still, healing up from surgery. So, if you can play, you play, right? Yeah. Imagine yourself, 30 years down the line. Yeah. You try, you do what you can. Yeah. Chet Baker playing with no teeth,
Totally. Yeah. No, I do sometimes have that thought experiment of what would I do if somehow I lost my hands?
Yeah.
Right? Because I got in a really bad bike accident 10 years ago now.
Right.
And I broke my left wrist and my right elbow.
Oh, I remember seeing you. You were really banged up.
Yeah, I think
I did see you at that time. Yeah.
I lived just down the street.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
The accident was on Wall.
Oh.
Wall and Dundas there.
Was it just a solo accident or was it a car hit you?
Well, I don't remember actually. I have amnesia.
Wow.
But my bike was okay. So I don't think it got run. I don't think I got run over because it didn't look like it was scratched by a car.
You might have hit one of those speed bumps there and.
Well, okay. If we want to get into it, what I think probably happened was that's at the bottom of a hill, and I think I might have gotten cut off in the intersection.
Yeah.
So I slammed on the brakes and just went over the handlebars. So that's what I think happened. And then I have a funny story about probably a week or two after the fact. I wanted to figure out what happened, and so there's the gas station by there. And I walk up to the gas station, both my arms are in casts.
You're just completely wrecked.
It looks ridiculous. My face is all beat up because I landed on my face.
Oh.
And I go to this gas station. I'm like, hey, do you have any like CCTV footage, maybe like
Oh,
like
of what
security
happened,
footage
yeah.
of like that, because I was in a bike accident at like Wall Street there. I'm wondering if maybe you could tell me if you have access to that area in your footage. Is like, no, we can only see the pumps. Like we don't really see any
Oh, yeah,
further.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh,
Okay.
okay, well then never mind. And he's just like, well, what happened? And I said, well, I actually don't remember. I have no memory
Literally
of
don't
the
remember.
event.
That's incredible.
And so that's why I want to figure out. But if you don't have it, don't worry about it. And he's like, well, think back. Like what happened?
Oh, he's like helping you here.
And I said, if I could, I would, but I'm telling you, I can't remember. It felt like
You
like
need
an
to be
SNL sketch
hypnotized or something. Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's just like, you got to remember something, man. And I'm like, dude, I can't. That's why
Let's
I'm
go
here.
and reenact it.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to put you into a meditative state.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Watch this. Keep your eye. Yeah.
But I do, yeah. Sometimes I think
Isn't
about
that
those
weird,
things
yeah?
where it's like, I had like 2 months where I like couldn't play guitar at all, and
How did you feel?
I mean, I was sedated for a bunch of it, but I mean, I sort of like forced myself to play guitar way sooner than I should have.
Yeah.
Probably. Like I still had like a cast in my arm.
I
and
did
just-
that
yeah.
with basketball when I was in high
Oh,
school.
yeah.
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 I came back. I actually had a cast on my leg, and I intentionally walked in the snow so it would
Oh yeah.
disintegrate.
That's using.
Yeah,
your
I know.
noodle,
The
yeah.
doctor told me, man, you could have really messed yourself up. He said, but you're lucky. You've rehabilitated yourself. But
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
yeah, but same deal, right?
Yeah,
It's
well,
like-
it's like you think about like how am I going to be able to remain if something like that would happen, like how would I remain creative musically? And there's ways
you could compose.
Yeah, you
can-
compose. You get into like I mess around with Ableton once in a while.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
yeah, like composing or I've other creative outlets
Or
as well,
even
like,
non-musical
Yeah, exactly.
forms. Yeah, I think when I was younger, I used to think, God, if I couldn't play music, I'd want to be dead. And it's
Right,
like,
yeah.
the older you get, do I really want to give up Italian food?
yeah.
No, I think I'll stick around for a while.
That's-
I love me pasta.
yeah.
And there's lots to live for, and I think
There's more to life. There's more to life than music.
hey, people like us, if you have a creative impulse in your body, you'll find a way to express it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can write. You can be a bloody quadriplegic. I knew a guy who was a quad, and he was still playing music. He was he passed a few years ago, but he was the guy that he founded this society for disabled musicians. So he had limited mobility in his arms, and he was playing drum pads and stuff.
Yeah.
Dave Symington was his name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I even did a gig with him, and he'd
Huh.
sort of strap these sticks onto him, and he could kind of
Whoa.
hit the pads.
Yeah.
But he was seriously disabled, yeah, and had been a drummer before that. And
Yeah, I feel like,
You know,
you'll find a way.
you'll find a way.
You'll find a way.
Or you could recite, you could be a writer even with all the technology we have now, and just
Right.
recite and
Sing.
dictate. And
You could, it's
oh, I did know actually another guy, quadriplegic, who was a good singer.
yeah.
And he kept singing. He used to sing. He used to busk down at Granville Island, but he was a professional singer.
Yeah.
And again, I did a gig with him, with somebody
Wow.
who knew him, and it was very poignant. Like
Yeah.
he could. Well, he couldn't move. He had to sort of lean over a little bit and get the airflow going, and he still had a really nice voice and he didn't have a
Wow.
lot of breath.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine that. Yeah, like getting enough air would probably be the biggest.
But he
hurdle.
had the passion to keep singing even
Sure.
after he'd fallen off a fucking balcony at a party
Oh,
or
wow.
something. Like, one of these terrible fluke
Yeah,
accidents
yeah.
that he leaned and the balcony broke.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Wow.
that's it. Bam.
Yeah, well, and you think about like you think about Wayne Shorter.
Sure.
He was like probably more interested in movies
Yeah.
than music. It
So I
seemed like
heard,
every
yeah.
like interview that people do about him like later in his life. He's like, "Oh yeah, music's fine, but have you seen Seven Samurai?" Like he was just like, he just realized, like creativity is creativity, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You just reminded me, Rini Rosnes, the great piano player. She has a story about one of her first really big gigs was playing in Wayne Shorter's band after she moved to New York. And she said the audition with Wayne was basically I went to his house and we watched both Alien movies. And he didn't say a word. He just kind of would watch to see how I... I know, she said it was really weird. Well, he was a noted eccentric.
Totally.
And he just watched my reactions, and then afterwards he just told me, when the rehearsals and the gigs were.
I mean...
He must have had her... Well, obviously he had heard her play already. So.
Yeah, like there's... I do get that, though. I do kind of get that. Like, where you want to be able to get an idea of...
Aura.
Yeah, like get someone's vibe, or like just have an idea of like how well you'll be able to get along with somebody.
Yeah.
In a band, because you could be an amazing player, but like if we can't hold a conversation for more than 15 minutes,
or be in the same space, without somebody. Yeah, vibrations are so important. I've always chosen my bands and collaborators based on how I relate to them as people.
Totally.
It's really a personal thing, and I mean, one of the most successful bands I've ever had was Talking Pictures. That was Peggy.
Totally. I was just about to bring up
Bill
Talking
Clark.
Pictures.
And we're family. We still hang out.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very familial. We toured with the kids and really close.
Wow.
Close friends. And that brought so much trust and, joy to the project that... And we've all worked with people that made you uncomfortable, right?
Sure.
It's just part of what we do, the chemistry doesn't always click.
I mean, you have your situations where you have a professional relationship with the people you play with, and that's basically the end of it. And then you have your Talking Pictures like bands.
Well, it's funny, I remember years ago there was this piano player from Toronto came out here, and I didn't really know him. But I forget how it came about. I might have helped him get booked or something, because I used to be really active with administrating, booking, and running my bands and the Now Society and all that stuff. Did that for decades and almost killed me. But anyway, I can't remember the upshot of it. Oh, I know what it was. I was married to Kate Hammett Vaughan, and he came out with a singer that Kate knew. And she had hooked her up with a gig, and he was there. But we were talking about players we knew, and Roy Stife's name came up, and he said, "Yeah, I've got a band with Roy in Toronto." I went, "Oh, Roy, man, I played so much with him. He used to be my roommate. How's Roy doing?" And he said, "Oh, we don't get personal in Toronto."
Oh, okay.
And I just thought, what a funny thing to say.
Yeah.
And this guy was a little odd. I can't even remember his name, but he I don't think that's true.
Yeah, maybe you don't.
Yeah, that was more the upshot. But just that idea, just to have that orientation, but we don't get personal. It's like, man, I feel like when you're playing music, that is depends so much on trust and interplay and communication.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds like he didn't want to have a conversation with you. I think he just wanted to shut it down.
Yeah, maybe.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's very. I just feel like that's such a pointed and rude thing to say, because like, why wouldn't you just say, "Oh, he's doing well, he's working"? And,
I don't know.
I
don't know. I mean, there is, some guys do have that sort of.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't get personal.
A gig's a gig, man. Nothing personal.
Totally.
I go in and do my job. It's like a mafia hitman.
Yeah.
We don't get personal.
Yeah.
I don't know. There
maybe that
there is that
thing.
Residual of the working musician.
Yeah, because it is more of a it is more of a working town, like
mercenary.
Yeah. You are more of a hired gun out there.
Yeah.
You're probably touring more because there's more density, and maybe the whole West Coast East Coast thing is real, where it's like Vancouver.
Yeah, we're all kind of flaky, familial.
Yeah.
I like it that I can't.
We're having dinner and having Friendsgiving.
Let's hang. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I love hanging with musicians.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too.
There's some of the brightest and funniest people I've ever known.
Oh man,
like God.
Yeah, most of the good musicians I know are also funny.
Yeah,
I feel like they really go hand in hand.
It does. I mean, because comedy is a form of improvisation, humor, sense of humor.
Yeah, but it's also like it's a reflection of like how you're able to process the world.
Yeah,
and I think your ability to be musical is also going to be that. And I feel like your sensibility, you're just the fact that you're willing to play music that is improvisational in nature, or that is not necessarily as concrete as other genres.
Yeah,
I think is more a reflection of how you see the world.
You have to be adaptable. You have to be open. You have to take the material. You have to listen and take things in and transform that input into some kind of output.
Yeah, because it tells me that because you have to take it seriously. There's a point of hearing music and taking it seriously and being reverent.
Yeah.
And I suppose comedy is where you can poke holes in that reference.
Yeah.
And reverence.
One of my teaching things, and to circle back on something we were talking about earlier, was don't be afraid to suck.
Yeah.
Embrace the suck. Enjoy the suck.
Yes.
And I say, I only became a better player when I stopped caring so much. But what I'm really trying to say is I care so much, I have to let go to get the best possible outcome. But you have to have that trust that if you let go of whatever you would call it, your ego or your hang up on what the outcome's going to be, if you let go of that, you'll come out better. You'll play better.
Yeah,
because you're free. You're getting more cosmic. Then you're not just limiting yourself to your ego, your own space, your head space, your sense of self. And
it's also more endearing to the listener.
Sure,
when you can see someone and you're like, man, he really just does not give a fuck. He just does, that's amazing.
Oh, you mean that sort of freeness, that freedom? Yeah,
he doesn't.
Not when you hear someone sucking,
no.
Literally sucking and going, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, sorry.
That guy needs to get back in the
totally.
woodshed.
There's two ways of delivering that line. Yeah.
No, but that's the paradox I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Chris. It's exactly the paradox I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Someone like Wayne Shorter, fearless improviser, unbelievable.
Absolutely, yeah.
He did not play cliches, that guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that. Herbie Hancock, another guy too,
Totally.
One of the greatest shows I ever saw was a duo between Herbie and Wayne at the Chan Center.
Cool.
And what made it extra surreal was Joni Mitchell and her daughter were sitting right in front of us. And they had just been reunited after...
Really?
Well, she gave her up for adoption. I read in Joni's bio.
What?
First thing I did when I reunited with my daughter, who was then in her 30s probably, and, was we went to the Chan Center to see Herbie Hancock and Wayne Shorter.
Whoa.
Her good friends. So
yeah, she's like, these are my buddies.
Yeah. I could have recorded great albums with them and shit. I think Wayne was one of her best friends, really.
Oh, wow.
Lisa's soulmate. He was on so many of her records.
Yeah.
But we were pretty weirded out by having Joni sitting right in front of us.
Yeah, that would be a total
anything.
trip.
Yeah.
You've already steeled yourself all day for seeing
these great improvisers.
For seeing them, and then also Joni Mitchell is just down.
Well, Joni's a fearless musician too. I would put her in one of my top desert island musicians. Mm-hmm. Amazing lyricist, like a painter, a storyteller.
Oh my God.
And also just a great guitar player. I mean, her rhythm is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was listening to Hijira the other day. It's just her and Jaco. And I was realizing, oh my God, that's so sparse. It's Joni's voice, her guitar, and Jocko.
Like it and Coyote.
And it sounds full. Yeah.
And Coyote, like you're right. Yeah, it's like I imagine it being a whole band.
Hand percussion.
Sure, there's like a little like a brushes on a cymbal or something. But like
she just drives it, and well, Jocko too. But it's yeah.
Well, Jocko didn't play regular bass either, though, right? Like
no.
I remember I was talking to another guitar player a long time ago about Pat Metheny's first record, Bright Side's Life.
Yeah,
and how Jocko was playing bass on that.
Yeah,
and how I think it's I think on a couple tracks. I think on Cireborn, Pat overdubs himself comping.
Right,
on his solo,
right?
And we were talking about how that's a little masturbatory. In retrospect, I mean, obviously it's a great record.
That's a hard tune too. I mean,
yeah,
I bet. Yeah,
but
do you think
he
overdubbed his solo or he overdubbed his accompaniment?
He must have overdubbed the accompaniment.
You think?
Yeah. I think because he wanted the chord progression to come through.
Right.
But
yeah, it was a hard tune.
Yeah. But also, like, you listen to that record, like, Jocko's playing chords. Like, he's he's not just walking, you know.
He's wildly harmonic.
Yeah. He's playing a chord instrument on the electric.
He does that on those Joni records. He plays these double stops and triple stops that are just like on a fretless, man. I mean, it's
the intonation is
nuts. Yeah. It's dead on. Yeah.
And he's going high on the neck to get those chords too.
It's super fearless playing.
Yeah.
And Joni loved him. She said, "Well, we breathed together." But that just shows what level of musicianship she had. And I saw that band, by the way, Chris.
Yeah.
The
Hajira band?
Coliseum. Yeah. No, Shadows and Light.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it was with Metheny, Mike Brecker.
Wow.
Jocko, Don Elias, and Lyle Mays. It was a crazy band.
Yeah.
Was it Lyle Mays? Yeah. No.
That's like the...
Yes, it was Lyle Mays.
Yeah, so I mean, that's basically...
part of the Metheny group.
Yeah, that Metheny group, or like there's... I know there's a Michael Brecker record with basically that lineup as well.
Yeah. Well, they sure played well, and they played for the song, which I loved.
Cool.
That was the beautiful thing. I mean, you know, what else could you do?
Yeah.
You know, I really appreciate that more and more as I get older about playing for the composition of the song. You know, people have said to me, "Why don't you solo more?" You know, it's like, well, especially on something like "Dogs Do Dream" or "Etiquette of Dying." It's like the whole thing's a solo of mine.
Right.
I wrote every piece of music on it. It's what else do you want?
Yeah.
Want to hear me noodle around? You know, for a minute or two. I don't know. I don't really feel compelled to do that.
I didn't write rhythm changes in the middle of it. Maybe I should.
No, and I like soloing, and I like what I really like too. And again, circling back to stylistic things, I like playing the guitar not like a guitar sometimes. Especially in improvised music, I call it veiling the guitar's sound. I'll do it with effects.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't like to hear a delay attack where it just goes
right.
You know, I'll always try to fade a delay in so that it's more of a cloud, atmospheric, and I do a lot of physical preparations on the guitar.
Right.
To kind of subvert the guitar's sound.
Alligator clips.
Bowing, alligator clips.
The bowing. Like I remember seeing, so I think talking pictures at Capilano University was maybe one of my first experiences seeing like improvised music and certainly improvised guitar.
Yeah.
And I think you were also my guitar teacher at the time too.
Probably. Yeah. We did. Yeah.
Because you were, I don't know if you know this, Ron, you were my first guitar teacher.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
You were my first guitar. Wow, I've never had a guitar teacher before that.
Talented young buck, I'll have to say.
I didn't exactly have.
You didn't have the best work habits, but you
No.
were. But you had that spark, Chris. Like 28 years of doing this, and we get pretty good at you see a guy, and
Right.
you must see this too in your own teaching
Sure.
now, is that you can tell when somebody's got it all going on. It's like what you take for granted, some people will never get with no amount of work. It's like the ear, the natural feeling for music, just understanding intuitively how the guitar works. You had all that stuff. I mean, the details come in time.
Yeah.
I
I definitely have had students like that, and it's just like, I'm just kind of here for the ride.
Yeah, man.
like let's just work on whatever you want to do.
I know. I love that.
I'll just sort of guide you along.
The problem at CAP was always we had to get you through a curriculum, either a 2-year or 4-year curriculum. So I've had students come back to me and say, man, I sure wish we talked about different stuff. It's like, well, we were just trying to learn our standards in all keys and figure out some good fingerings for, modes of the melodic minor.
Yeah.
It's very
drop 3 inversions with the root on the A string.
I think those got
they get
turfed.
canned after a while?
I think eventually.
Yeah, what was the most recent curriculum like for PMI?
Well,
PMI?
Bill Kuhn and I did a rework at one point where we tried to streamline some of the redundant things, and also, some of the juries just went on for you couldn't get through the jury in under 45 minutes or 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Therefore, you'd be running, by the end of the day, an hour and a half overtime, and everybody was freaked out. And it was exhausting, So we pared some of that down, and we took some of the things that were just physically wicked.
Yeah.
I think it was it was the drop 3 inversions on the A string. I think we canned that.
Yeah, because it's like...
They're evil, and you never use them,
never
right?
use them.
No,
it's not handy.
Maybe Alan Holdsworth could stretch those, or
right,
Tal
but
Farlow.
he would call them something else. He had his own language for
he had
chords,
his lexicon.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so,
he didn't know. Well, he actually was really theoretically based, but his approach, I remember hearing him talk about it. He basically extracted scale tones and made harmonies out of that. So he wasn't concerned with conventional voice. Yeah. Well, he voice led it, but not conventional progressions per se.
Right. Yeah. It was all, I guess, what you would call non-functional. But
that's the one thing about those tunes, like the Wayne Shorter tunes, to get back to him, is that it's hard if you're sight reading a tune like that, because he was going for a sound. And sometimes it was a very specific voicing.
Yeah.
So to see someone, to lift that and put that on a page doesn't always get you there.
Yeah.
I would listen to the recording, or, if you were working with that guy on his music, you go, what's the sound, man? What do you mean here? Oh, okay. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
The nomenclature. But, it's shorthand. Joni Mitchell again. Mm-hmm. She said one reason she loved working with Wayne and Jaco was that they could play in a very highly interpretive way.
Yeah.
Whereas I think those, the guys in the LA Express, some of those middle 70s records, I think they would transcribe them and put the chord changes down.
Okay.
But again, you're transcribing these kind of very open, non-standard tuning, sonorities.
Yeah.
A lot of open-ended suspension type of things.
Yeah.
And, it's sometimes hard to just give it a chord symbol name, and you really got to listen, and listen to her. Well, she was playing the voicings.
Right.
I guess, that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any idea of what the process was like for a record like Hijira, where
I think she would play the songs, and they would
just sort of
well,
support her, or
if you got Jaco, he would hear, obviously he'd follow the roots, but
yeah.
I don't know. He just probably, monster ears, of course.
Yeah.
I don't think she wrote that much down. There's a really cool thing on YouTube that I saw with, she's just at a house party at Gordon Lightfoot's. Have you seen that?
Is that the one where...
And she's playing,
Bob
it is
Dylan's
Coyote,
there?
and Bob Dylan's sitting there.
Yeah.
And Roger McGuinn, it's kind of like, woo, man, a heavy company.
Yeah.
And she's playing Coyote, and she's just soaring. And they're trying to kind of fall in, and looks like Bob Dylan's just kind of hanging out on a D chord or something. It's kind of like, okay, guys, or a G chord, whatever it was. Yeah. It's like, yeah, maybe set this one out.
Yeah, she's like
Joni's
kind of
got
playing
it.
a different instrument at that point, you know?
Absolutely. And again, you know, coming from, well, the folk tradition had a lot of different tunings and stuff like that. Yep. But what she did with it was she just extended.
I heard that she would
vocabulary.
She would kind of like just sit in her backyard and just tune her guitar weird until she found something that sounded good.
She called them chords of inquiry.
Okay, yeah.
She said I'd try and tune my guitar to the way I felt.
Right, yeah.
And then I'd write a song based on that. What a great thing, eh?
Wow. Yeah, that's, I mean, like, how, that's just so, you're so confident in your creative, creative ability.
Power, yeah.
Yeah, where it's like you don't, because we all have to
codify.
We all have to adhere to a framework, right?
Absolutely.
Like it's so like the discipline that we have is based on the fact that like there is a framework, and so to be able to just say like, what about no? What if I make my own framework?
You know, people have asked me over the years, you know, what do you practice, man? Like, you know, how do you practice all that stuff, the improvised stuff you do, all those textures and stuff? I'd never practice that stuff.
Yeah, what are you supposed to practice?
There's nothing to practice, you know. You just do it. And I don't sit around and do that solo-wise. When I practice, I either play classical music or I play standards.
Yeah.
Or I'll, you know, work out on a blues or something. But I play the standard jazz repertoire. I pick tunes out. I improvise on jazz standards.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do. It gets everything moving. It gets my hands moving. It gets my brain moving.
Well, you get warm.
You get melody, harmony.
I mean, like it's as demanding as music can get for the instrument, probably, and it's still a framework you can use for creativity.
Absolutely.
So. It like all the juices that you need to be flowing get flowing with that kind of.
Well, I've talked with Dylan Vanderskip a lot about improvising, and Torsten Mueller, who is a master improviser, free improvisation. You can try so-called non-referential music, but it is referential in that I think almost every impulse I've had playing in an improvised or non-structured situation has been informed by some sort of common practice.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's either going to be a distillation of a blues phrase or some jazz phraseology, or even emulating something I've heard on a classical, or contemporary classical music. Atonality,
viola da gamba.
Anything, it's all up there.
Yeah.
World music, I play my ebo like I'm playing a sarod or something.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to let all that stuff come through and acknowledge it, but I don't think anything comes out purely out of nothing, and Dylan always talked about this, there's always some sort of momentum or impetus, even in free music, there's got to be a momentum and a drive, like a rhythmic impetus. Mm-hmm. There's some sort of momentum. It might not be a metrically strict, but it's got, when it's good, it's got phrasing. It has to be phrased. You can't just go on aimlessly. Mm-hmm. Things need to be phrased. Mm-hmm. In order to have, interaction, to create implied structure. Yeah. It's like playing a solo that's either just a big string of eighth notes or phrasing it and telling a story. Yeah. Sonny Rollins, man. Yeah. Guy tells a story every time he plays his horn. Yeah. Wes had that too, the continuity of ideas and the regenerating cells and carrying them through the phrases. That's really important, I think. And I think it applies to all forms of music.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I feel like at this point, I mean, like there's you can essentially classify any noise that you make, right, into something.
Of course.
And so it's I feel like it's really hard to play something that isn't definable.
Yeah.
And so
could just be the sound of birds or something that you're
Yeah.
abstracting, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Olivier Messiaen did that 120 years ago.
He notated those
Yeah.
bird.
Yeah. So
calls,
like
yeah.
so instead it's, you know, just like anything else, you know, like writing, you know, you can write, you're not going to write any new words probably. You don't need to. You don't need to invent words. You can,
Yeah.
but you don't need to come up with a new idea.
No.
And also the context is everything.
Well, it's how you put it together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Context means everything. When I write either words, text, or I write these drunken poems and post them.
I love those poems.
Well, usually I'm about 3 sheets to the wind when I write them.
Yeah.
But it's the same with writing music, because I write it really fast.
Great.
Because it has to come out of a stream for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting that everybody do this, but for me, I know that I'll get hung up if I stop and start parsing it. So I'll write a phrase. I won't sit there and examine it. I just got to get it out, because and especially writing music, I learned that the hard way. Because I would sit and I would pore over.
Yeah, you can agonize.
3 bars of music, and it's like,
Yeah.
God, I just spent 3 hours, and I got what I did, 2 crappy little bars of music. It might be the greatest, densest thing in the world, but it's like, this has no. Well, again, it's that thing, no momentum, no sense of phrase. Like it's stillborn, right? And I just, my writing approach is just get it out.
Yeah.
You know, just expel it. Have a good
Yeah.
barf,
Okay.
you know,
Wait,
or whatever.
I saved a couple of these poems because there were a couple that were that as one thing that you wrote that's very poignant to like exactly what you're saying, which is I only write when the bells are ringing. Right? Hands are ringing. I can't resist the wordplay. No room for clever. It is time for forever. Let's get it together and show up.
Oh man!
Right?
I don't even remember writing that. I must have been really drunk.
That's really good. I only write when the bells are ringing. That's I know. I think I know what you mean.
Ring them bells for the chapel set. You know, Bob Dylan. Ring them bells.
Yeah. You know, like
by the way, I can do a good Bob Dylan now that my voice is gone.
Yeah, like
that's from medication.
It's probably the same for
It's
Bob.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no doubt, right?
Yeah.
I love that Miles lost his voice by chewing someone out after a throat operation.
Right. Yeah. He wasn't supposed to.
He wasn't supposed to talk.
Yeah.
It's like you're not supposed to play with your hands in casts.
Yeah. Sure.
You're lucky you didn't disable yourself.
Good luck with that. No, but that was actually I if I may, you know, I only write when the bells are ringing, right? Like when it strikes, right? Like when you hear it.
Yeah.
Right? You hear the music in your head suddenly for no reason in particular, right?
Follow
like,
the impulse and let it
and that's what happens for me too when I'm writing music, right? I always think I criticize myself for being not disciplined, but I think
some people are great at that. Like if you're a professional composer, those guys, they sit down and they write, you know. I've talked to John Korsrud about it. He's very workmanlike about it. He studied with Louis Andriessen, who says, when I have a piece of music, I know I've got to write so many bars a day, so I do it.
Right.
You know, and I really admire that discipline. Well, there's nothing like a deadline, though, to light a fire under your ass.
Yeah.
But I had never having been a professional composer per se.
Yeah.
A couple of times I've had commissions, and boy, I'm a terrible procrastinator.
Right. Yeah.
I've really shit the bed a few times. Yeah, but that's a whole other story.
We don't have to get into it.
Yeah, composing's hard, man.
But it's So I've done this podcast with John, and we talked about composition a lot. I feel like a lot of the best conversations end up talking about composition of music, and what's clear to me is he's just not very precious, right? It's just output. It's not his baby. It's not his little baby. Like just music happens.
Yeah.
And he gets to decide what happens to that music. So he's thinking a lot larger picture too, right?
Well, and I think studying with Andreessen, those guys were all super lefty. They're like, if not communists, they're heavy Marxists.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
It's about the working man. You work. You're not better or higher because you're in a higher echelon because you're a composer. You're one of the workers. So if you're a worker,
composer, plumber, truck driver,
they all have their intrinsic value. So get to work, man. Don't sit there sobbing into your handkerchief,
yeah. Totally. Yeah. And I admire that because, like, to me, it's clear that that Korsrud's just he's a man of routine,
very practical. Yes.
Yeah.
He's very organized.
He just posted on Facebook
leader
about how he's walked 10,000 steps every day for the last 3 years or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and he's always ran a good band. Like John is first of all, he's incredibly loyal. As he keeps musicians, as long as it's working, they're going to be, they'll get the call for the gig,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he's always been really good about just, run a big band that long. I mean, 30 some years. It's not a, constantly working band, but it's consistent.
Yeah.
Commissioning new pieces and all that stuff. Takes a lot of discipline and a lot of continuity.
Yeah.
And I really respect John for that. And some of the music has been absolutely ball busting with not enough rehearsal time to get it together. But
it's a big band. That's sort of the
curse
of it, right?
I've had a few gigs where I was just you're sweating bullets and going, this is, close your eyes, man.
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
I've practiced this. I played it right 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Already. Let's hope I can get a 4th time here.
Well, I guess John's fierce loyalty has paid off for you.
Well, it's been a great gig for me for many, many years. And it's more than that. It's a real enduring friendship with John. He's a funny guy and a really talented composer and an excellent band leader. And I guess full marks all around for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed playing.
Hell of a good trumpet player too. And I think he gets underappreciated.
For sure.
It's a super good improviser. And
yeah,
he recently subbed on the Electric Miles project for a couple of gigs. And he just blew that bag to smithereens, man. It was just like really aced it.
Yeah. And I think also like, for a guy, I love how we're just gushing about John Korsrud.
Well, but he's worth gushing.
Totally, yeah. I think he also is a really great example of somebody who's been like a linchpin in the community for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
And has maintained this large ensemble that's done all these amazing projects.
Yeah.
And it's been basically the same band as much as possible the entire time.
As close as he can. Yeah, we had some turnovers, but
and
so usually it was by attrition. People would.
Despite that, he still managed to like be well acquainted with young players in the scene.
Yeah, well, in part as a teacher, but I also think he makes it his business to find out who's out there.
He was never my teacher. He teaches at VCC.
Yeah,
I only ever went to Cap, and I got to know him through playing with him at Pat's Pub at the jam session.
Oh, right on. Yeah,
right?
Great. Yeah.
That's how I ever got to know him. Same with a lot of the people that I've played with over the years. Actually, it's really just through being part of the scene and like going to Pat's. Actually, Pat's was like a big part of my.
That was a good scene while it lasted.
Yeah. But yeah, like John has. I think he's just a very. He's a great example of somebody who can do it all. Where it's like like you're saying, he can play the trumpet really great, and he can compose, he can lead a band, and he's also like keeping up with everybody, and not being kind of like this, grumpy old guy when he plays with his favorite musicians.
It's hard not to become a grumpy old guy.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
I feel it happening to myself.
Yeah, yeah. I remember telling Cole Schmidt, I mean, after years of running the Now Orchestra and the Society, and then I also concurrently had Barking Sphinx, which was kind of the vehicle for Talking Pictures. That burned me right out. I remember telling Cole Schmidt when I was seeing how much he was doing, and I've said it to Tim Reinhardt as well. It's like, watch out for burnout, boys. You grind that hard for too long, and you're gonna start spinning.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It's great. It's admirable that these guys put so much back into the community.
Yeah,
but it takes a toll.
For sure.
I was working more to, make gigs happen for other people than I was for myself at one point. And you start to question that. I mean, it's a groove to be able to, help make something happen in the community. John has avoided that burnout, though. I don't know how he's a stoic, I guess.
Yeah, I just think he's a different breed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just like, he's very focused, and he seems very practical.
He probably would have been good in business, and I don't mean that in a derogatory sense,
Yeah, because he's also just kind of good at getting along with anybody. Yeah,
I'd be a disaster. I'm way too emotional. I get into these petty feuds and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
One of these days I'll grow up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath, Chris. But music's been a great adventure. And I mean, I realize this as like I say, I've been a professional musician, almost 45 years now. And just so many stories and so many experiences and, travel opportunities and stuff for, guys that are making, under 30 grand a year. It's pretty good life. And, the musicians, all the artists, all the actors and dancers I've known over the years, we're getting by on a pittance.
Yep.
You need more now than ever.
Yeah.
To be able to live in Vancouver and thrive, but people are figuring out how to do it, and
somehow
it's quite a life. It's a great way to spend your time on this planet.
I can't really complain.
I see people at high school reunions, and they've lived, and power to them. They've lived fairly normal lives with normal jobs, but they're kind of the same. They raise a family, they go to Hawaii every year, and but we start telling stories, and man, it's just like, it's like, whoa, man, you've had a pretty varied life.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I love doing this podcast, honestly, is because I get to talk to like the most interesting people you can talk to, right?
You just scratch the surface too. Talk to any musician, you start swapping gig stories or crazy shit.
The funny thing that I say about obviously I won't get into it, but I did an interview with John Gross.
He'll have some stories.
Yeah, that's maybe my longest episode. We did it was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I had to rent a space, and so like he met me at this space, and we just start talking, and we talk for 2 hours, and then at the end of it, he says, "I'm done now." He just looks at me. He says, "I'm tired. I'd like to go home now."
Well, he's like, 80 years old, and
that's
he's
fair.
Still,
And I'm like, well, I'll give you a ride home. Let me give you a ride home. And so I drive him back. There's a bit of traffic, so like we're in the car for a while, and that's when he really starts telling me the juicy stuff.
Oh
right?
Man, yeah, we've all got some eye-watering stories. I'll say, ooh, wow, yeah, a few beauties,
and that's what it's all about. I just love. This has been an awesome conversation, man. I'm glad we were able to do this.
Well, it's really enjoyable, Chris, and I really appreciate that. Well, you even taking the interest in. What I've been up to and what I've done. It's sometimes you wonder, if you're here today, forgotten tomorrow kind of thing. But, it's great to connect.
I think, man, you've done so much stuff, and you've had a huge impact on so many people, man. Like, I'm happy you're still around. There was a while, when you first kind of announced to everybody, and I was like, man, like that was like right after I graduated.
Yeah,
at Cap, right?
They
and I
gave
was
me
like,
3 months to live.
oh my god,
it was weird.
And so man, it's just great. It's great to be able to sit here and talk with you, man.
Well, now you know why I'm not so worried about outcomes.
That's good.
Can't afford to worry that much.
If that's not a button, I don't know what is. All right. Well, thanks, Ron.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks so much.
Thanks again to Ron and his wife Patty for hosting me in their beautiful home in Hastings Sunrise. Can't wait to get together with Ron again on or off mic. You can hear The Etiquette of Dying on record as it is for sale on Bandcamp, and the audiovisual experience is free and available to watch on Vimeo right now. It was just released on December 3rd. So please check those out if you want to support Ron. If you want to see anything else that's going on, of course, you can head over to rhythmchanges.ca and join the newsletter and check out the gig list as always. This will be the last episode of 2025, so happy holidays and happy new year to all of you and yours. We'll see you in 2026. Bye now.